Hi, this is Chan. Today we'll have a deeper look at one of the best goalkeepers of our era, Manuel Neuer, goalkeeping ability. In 2014, when Neuer was at the peak of his game, his save percentage was a staggering 93.1%, as opposed to Matteo Peren's 80.4% and De Gea's 71.7%. When Neuer's goalkeeping, he doesn't only block definite goals, but he catches them with his hands. What does catching the ball do to the game? Well, it ends the sequence of play. If a goalkeeper stops a shot, but the ball is still in play, it creates a goal-scoring opportunity for the opponent again, because another shot could come from the second ball. Neuer even at times catches shots directed into the top bins as well, which is just ridiculous. The reason he's able to do this is because of his unbelievable lower body strength. The way his legs push off the ground gives him a lot of airtime, so he's able to travel a further distance with his jumps, allowing him to cover more area. Just look at those muscles. Also, there's a real swagger about the way he stops shots coming directly at him. All he does is just use one arm without moving his body. In comparison, look at this amateur goalkeeper, Chan. He goes nuts even when a ball is coming directly at him. If you do this, you can never be prepared for the next situation. Also, look at how low Manuel Neuer's body position is. If a player shoots across the goalkeeper from either side, he can easily stop it. Furthermore, sometimes when forward players don't have much shooting angle, they just try to shoot between the goalkeeper's legs or just blast it at the keeper's head. But Neuer is always prepared for this because he's always one step ahead of the attacking players. Aerial ball clearance. Even if you're excellent at shot stopping, if you can't clear aerial crosses properly, you'll have to go back to square one and face a dangerous situation every time a ball is crossed into the box. Clearing aerial balls looks pretty easy when you look at it, but it's actually quite hard. If a ball swings out, you can so easily get stuck in between the options as to whether you should clear the ball in a risky area or stay in goal to prepare for the opponent's header on goal. But Neuer's decision making is rarely miscalculated. When he needs to come out, he would make sure that he's there before the others and catch the ball properly, or punch it to the side without hesitation, making sure he's dominating any aerial threats. On a side note, I'll tell you one thing you might find interesting. When goalkeepers are dealing with aerial balls, they lift one of their knees like this. Dynamically, this makes you jump higher as the velocity of your mass becomes greater with the knee traveling upwards. And apparently it gives keepers some protection from the attacking players. One-on-one situations. Neuer's saves from one-on-one situations are just a beauty to watch. He lowers his body, closes his legs, keeps his arms tight to his body, and takes small steps as he comes out of goal, which is intended to decrease the shooting angle of the attacker. Let's have a look at the amateur Chan again. He doesn't come out in a one-on-one situation, creating a much bigger shooting angle and much higher goal scoring probability. Even my nan can score these. Anyways, moving back to Neuer again. As he closes down the shooting angle, he waits and waits until the attacking player actually shoots. When the attacking player shoots, he gets into this shape by stretching his arms and legs as much as he can. Usually, professional forward players know that goalkeepers get into this shape, so what they try to do is they try to get cheeky and aim between the legs of the keepers. But Neuer knows this, which is why he stretches his legs like this to stop a shot coming between his legs. And he also saves the shots heading to either side of him with his stretched arms. Unlike other average goalkeepers, he never throws himself to the ground first, nor does he prematurely predict the direction of a shot. Defensive coverage. Neuer is often classified as a sweeper keeper. A sweeper is a relatively old terminology which refers to the position that would only be involved in defensive duties. A sweeper would position himself between the centre back and the goalkeeper. So a sweeper keeper is essentially a goalkeeper that plays as an extra defender in a game of football. An average goalkeeper would stand around this area. Comparatively, Neuer stands on the edge of the centre circle. So when a midfielder receives a ball and puts the ball in between the goalkeeper and the centre backs, Neuer can easily step off his line and block the play. But why does Neuer come out so much compared to other sweeper keepers? Does he want to be recognised in one-sided game too? Actually, not so much. It's all because of Bayern Munich's tactics. When they're in position, all of the outfield players push up the field and circulate the ball, and if they lose the ball, they press up high all together as a unit, including the last defenders. So the area between the goalkeeper and the centre back is bound to get big, which is where Bayern Munich is most vulnerable, as it's the area of the pitch that the opponent will try to capitalize. Just like this, if they gain possession of the ball, they'll try to knock it into this area, and a fast player can simply chase it down for a goal. So it's a super dangerous situation. For this reason, Neuer will always stay so far up the pitch. If you hesitate between sprinting off your line or staying in goal, just like amateur Chan, it becomes easier to concede. Build-up play. As a sweeper keeper, Neuer excessively gets involved in the build-up play. If a goalkeeper is stuck inside the box like Chan, you're inviting pressure onto yourself and the build-up play becomes more difficult. However, if a goalkeeper actively involves himself in the build-up play, his team can take a numerical advantage. In fact, Thiago Motta actually used a 2-7-2 formation when he was coaching at PSG's youth team. Yes, this is actually a goalkeeper in the defensive midfield role. Funnily enough, this formation actually creates a 11-on-10 situation, which alleviates the pressure during build-up play. Neuer, with his technical feet, casually feints a long kick and does the Cruyff turn quite often. And you would also probably know the famous techers he's shown us, where he passed the ball with the side of his foot in the air. Counter-attacks. He often becomes the starting point of a counter-attack. This usually happens through his saves, followed up by a quick release of the ball, where he delivers the ball directly to the forward player. His long balls are actually mesmerizing to watch. It's fast and low like a bullet, which is so beneficial for a counter-attack. On the other hand, if you kick the ball too high, like Chan, you give the defenders the time to get back into their defensive position. I would like to give a special mention to his German teammate Ter Stegen, because despite his excellence, he had to sit on the bench because of the mighty Neuer for so many years. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace!